We are live once again, ladies and gentlemen. This is the Please Understand podcast, Minnesota sports done by the casuals. As usual, we've got Vikings to discuss. We've got TWolves in the throes of the NBA season. MLB news kind of circulating around the net this afternoon that honestly, cards on the table we weren't prepared for at all. Guess what? We're going to talk about it. I got some things to say about it. But yeah, just kind of got surprised to see, some, I don't know, last minute news. It doesn't really get broadcast, the MLB lottery, but hey, it happened. So we'll talk about it. So yeah, Vikes, Wolves, Twins, pop some comments in the chat, make this interactive. We'll stop and address any questions, anything you guys want to talk about. But first, we'll go to Phil for traffic and weather. Phil, how is it out there? I know you were basically sitting in your car on the highway doing nothing for an extended period of time. Tell us how that went.
Yeah, I wasn't prepared to give a statement, but it's pretty brutal. It's pretty brutal out there. Yeah, there was some big accident. There was a semi flipped around. I was like, Jesus Christ, here we go. It's that time of year, I guess. And already feels worse than last year somehow.
It does.
I know. How can that even be?
It feels like we already have more snow by December 9th than we had at all last year.
I've given up on the driveway already.
It's not going to leave anymore.
I'm not going to. I see my neighbors, and it's like some of them are retired, and it's like a flex to just have the most crispy driveway. I mean, I am a little jealous. But it's like I'm not going to go out and just shovel every 9 hours. It's been snowing every fucking day. So it's like I'll try to wait till this ends and just do one session.
We'll pass through, and then hopefully some sun comes out and gets the rest.
I don't know how, it'll take me probably, I don't know, multiple hours. And I don't have that big a driveway. But I'm like, well, if it's just going to keep snowing, I'll just wait. I can get in and out of my house. If I can get out of the driveway and back up into the garage, it's something it's a can that can be kicked down the road. So I initially did it. I don't know when it it all just blends together. Once you get that first one, you're like, well, here it is. We're just fucked, for the next 3-4 months.
Pretty much.
Was it Wednesday before Thanksgiving, or was there a bigger one, a few days later, maybe that Saturday? I can't remember exactly, but one of those 2 days, I'm like, all right, let's at least see if the snowblower even works, which usually it does not.
Yeah, usually it's mine fired up right away. I couldn't believe it.
Mine took a couple
what a day.
couple of churns at it, and then she finally started up. But at least, yeah, that's working, at least for now. But I just keep putting it off. It's like, well, the next time I use it, we'll see. And I'm about to shovel, so I'll just be plowing through who knows how much snow come February, but good times. Nice to know we're just stuck inside for 3 straight months. Pretty sick. But they were saying about that. I don't know if you guys ever sometimes, I don't know when they release this, but and who even puts this together. This is gonna make me sound really, really stupid, especially for someone who lives in this climate.
You're casual for a reason, so
hey, yeah, very on brand of me to sound quite dumb. But the Farmer's Almanac, they're always the ones I feel they're on point. I don't know how they do it. I don't know who they are, what it even is. But I do remember when they first got my respect. I don't know if you guys remember this, but it was outdoor Super Bowl, or not Giants. It was at Giant Stadium. It was Denver, Seattle, and they projected way in advance. They're there's gonna be a huge fucking snowstorm, and it on the Super Bowl
on Super Bowl Sunday,
and it happened the next day. And I was like, holy shit! How do these? As soon as that happened, I'm like, all right, I better start
who is this?
Listening to whoever these guys are.
Where are they?
But they were saying it was going to be not only cold as shit as usual, but a ton of snow this year. And here we are.
Hey, if anybody has any, Farmer's Almanac, if you're in the know, fire them in the comments.
Yeah.
We talk weather. We talk weather on the spot sometimes.
Help me to not be as stupid, guys. I know it's a tall order.
It's tough.
But hey, every little bit helps. Let's start with the Vikes, guys. Phil, are we the best team in the NFC?
Oh, is it parade route?
31-0? The annual shutout?
Wow.
What
Has
up?
anybody, I know I texted you guys the other night, but has anybody seen a stat as far as being shut out and then shutting out the next team by 25 or more points? Anybody got anything on that? That's
I
wild.
didn't see about the points, but it was the first time a team scored 0 and then allowed 0 the next game since 1992. The Denver Broncos did it.
Yeah, that's pretty crazy. And then, like I said, what was it, 26-0 against Seattle and then 31-0? What a crazy 2 weeks, honestly.
I know. The roller coaster season continues. But the return of JJ McCarthy, a hard start, I think I would say, a healthy start. Pretty early on, I think they cleared him from concussion protocol. And he goes on to his best game as a pro. No picks, 16 of 23 for a full $163 through the air. QBR 75.1. Just, I mean, how excited does that get you? A QB rating of 129.2. I mean, here we are. We're back. We're back after all this season.
Fire him up in your fantasy playoffs. Why not?
Yeah, or your millionaire lineups, which some of us have been doing quite regularly and have yet to play any of his pass catchers that have caught the touchdowns, continuing that sweet trend of just we might as well just go like 4 tight ends.
Your own grave. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not helping anybody out. I'm probably like significantly responsible for Jefferson's production of the last 6 weeks, probably, but let's focus on 9 for right now. So, that was a performance we definitely needed. We needed anything out of them. I saw some discussion leading in where there, it was more of a fantasy, I think, podcast I was watching where they're like talking about McCarthy and they're like, man, this Washington, they just went through the rankings of like 30th against receivers, 28th against tight ends. They're like every offense, like play your offensive players against Washington defense. And they're like, if he can't do it this week, then what do we even do? But got some production, got out to a good lead for the first time, I feel like, since we've had this dude. I guess Detroit was another example, I suppose. But so given 9's performance on Sunday, Jake, what does that mean? What do we take away from this game?
It's a nice baby steps into his progression. It's not anything where you can be like, okay, yeah, here we go, because he beat the Redskins. So it's nothing spectacular.
Manders,
so whoa, wait, sorry.
We'll take football team even.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Trying to get us canceled.
Yeah,
Jesus.
It's nice. Good to see. I know we got the win. A lot of people are mad that we won because we're trying to tank for a draft pick, but we're kind of like in a little slot in the draft order anyway, where we needed to lose like multiple games to even get into the top 10 or win to get into the like top 13. So we're kind of stuck in that 11-13 range, depending if anything weird happens. So I'll definitely select or drop a couple slots in the draft to get some progression in a W. That's fine by me, but it's good to see. It was refreshing. I didn't just hate the game the entire 2 hours and 39 minutes, the fastest game of the NFL this year, by the way.
Was it? It felt like it.
It's crazy because the Seattle game felt very long, but it was also over pretty quick as well. I think you nailed it. Progress. That's the term that keeps coming to my mind when I think about this. Is we just wanted to see some form of progress going forward. Now, to string a couple together would be nice, couple nice performances, but I also think the next I got to see him having some progress to the receivers as well. Like I know this was a nice game, but Jefferson still was like 2 catches for 11 yards. Addison kind of got a few, right? 4 targets. Addison got a few down the stretch. But I mean, until that last drive or two, he wasn't really doing anything either. And by that point, the game is over. So I think that would be the next step for me is let's see it get the ball. Let's see Jefferson have a nice game.
Yeah, and another opportunity. I mean, Dallas, their defense is better. They've made some trades. They went from maybe one of the worst defensive units we've seen in a long, long time to now they feel like they might have a chance. They still gave up a shit ton of points to Detroit on Thursday. So I wouldn't say this is a bad matchup for JJ at all. Like, this is another like good opportunity for him to see what he can do. How many like just times has he even had like 2 games in a row where he can just practice, the game, the games haven't gone well. And then like, after the game or like either Sunday or Monday, there's like some sort of like, oh, he's on the injury report for a finger, or like, the concussion thing kind of just came out of nowhere. So like, hopefully that's a sign of momentum of like, hey, just, being in the routine of just playing regularly, like, can't hurt. So I'm, hopeful. I mean, and they didn't flex us for some reason. Like the JJ stuff still just gets like a lot of coverage. The whole season, I've always just been like, why is that? Like, I know he was somewhat high profile in college. They won a title, but like, it's just you see it all over. Every show keeps talking about this dude. And I'm like, if we're sucking, like, can you guys just like leave us be for a little while? And here we are now just in prime time. So I'm like, oh God, here we go. But good opportunity against Dallas. And Jake, to your point about drafting, it's like, yeah, we're kind of, it's not like we can go up or down too far. We don't know how to fucking draft anyway. So I'm not going to freak out about picking 8th or 12th or 16th or whatever. So,
right. And this is really bad with JJ. We're not going to get a quarterback anyway next year. So that's where you need the top picks for. Where we're sitting, we can get, because we have multiple spots we need. So anywhere from 8 to 13, we'll have somebody just fine sitting there for us.
Mm-hmm. And in my minimal mock drafting research, it sounds like, at least for quarterbacks, it's a down year anyway. So like, we're not even in the market for that. And they don't even, there's not even really like a consensus number 1 pick. So it's a bit of a Zachary Richarchet type of a class. So it's like, you know what, whatever. It's not like we need to be shitting our pants about winning games. It's more important for him to develop and look good than it is for us to like slide up in the draft like 1 or 2 spots. So good for him getting a lead early. I know I can't remember how many times, or it was like 3 or 4 times ever that KOC era team won the toss and like took the ball. So you could see like right away,
that was
like, all right, scripted
hated
plays
to start the game.
I never like that. Like, you should just always go for that 2-for-1 at halftime. Like, try to end with the ball and start the third quarter with it. I feel like that's just the way you always should do it. But sometimes they go on vibes. I can't blame them. It's kind of how I roll all the time. But you saw a little bit more out of him. He still seems to be just like kind of firing the ball on these frozen ropes a lot. But he was getting out and running, picking up some first downs. Just starting with the lead. That's the thing. Like, a lot of his earlier starts, where we'd always just be like, all right, well, we got that 1 quarter. Let's see if we can, parlay that into the next week. And it was always like he would struggle all game, but then in the clutch, we would finally start to see some production out of him. And this was the first one where it's like, hey, let's just stomp these guys out. I know, they leaned on the run game finally a good amount. I mean, what was that one drive? Was like 19 plays. That was why
98 yards. Drive of the decade, I believe it was coined.
Century.
Drive for the century.
Like our best one since like the year 2000.
Yeah.
But they ran it 34 times, passed it 23. Some of that ends up just being a little bit more just game script related. It's easier to do that when you have a lead. So we'll see how things go at Dallas, because this is going to probably be more of the shootout variety. It's like you can't just kind of kill the clock and bleed out the game as much as you may want to. Like, he's going to have to sling it back and forth probably with Dallas. You guys agree with that?
Yeah,
I don't know.
So.
I mean, go ahead.
I was just saying, I think it's going to be more of definitely a high profile game. I think our defense isn't going to obviously, shut them out. We've already got our shutout for the season, so I think we're good on those. But I think it'll be a hard fought game as long as we just keep the same game plan for the most part. Run the ball. It's a nice 50-50 mix in here. Nice short passes. take your deep shots when you can, but let's set up the play action first and kind of get that moving. That seemed to help him a lot this week, which was nice to see KOC finally just be like, oh, okay, we just need to play like high school football to him, but it worked, and it's just nice to see that.
I was going to say we'll see what version of Dallas's offense wants to show up as well. I don't know what CeeDee Lamb's prognosis is, if he's going to play or not, but Dallas they're another team that just they can score a lot of points, or they can just show up and do absolutely nothing. Like I know Jaden Daniels just came back last week for Washington, but like they have some players on that offense, and for them to score 0 is pretty crazy. That really shows how well our defense is playing. And I mean, you go back to the Seattle game, as bad as that game was offensively, the defense played pretty well against a high-scoring Seattle offense. So it kind of just depends. I could see it being, hey, it's national TV, so just watch it be like 13-10, just a grinded out game, because that's what we want
for the nation to see.
Right, because what we want to see is we want to see a lot of points be scored, because we want to see JJ keep that progression going. So yeah, it should be an interesting one. I do like that they kept it on there just, for selfish purposes. I like having the island game regardless. It gives us a chance at the noon slate to watch all the rest of our fantasy matchups, go up in flames. So
I like to be able to gorge on the main slate. And I think it's finally like, I'll get to this later, but we're past the bye weeks. So it should be, I think it's a well-balanced, healthy diet of games, 12 and 3 o'clock windows finally. So yeah, keeping us in prime time. I think mainly it's just a Dallas Cowboys thing. They're like,
totally,
we can't move out a Dallas game when they're technically in the mix for the division still, after Philly last night just looking like dog shit. 3 straight losses for them. So it's like they're still in
they
the
gotta
mix.
get right coming up.
Yeah, but yeah, to your point, I guess, it doesn't necessarily have to be a shootout. I mean, I know that Lions game was, but like Dallas, they love to just roll out Brandon Aubrey and just take their 3 if given the opportunity. So, but I would like to see JJ just in a different style of game, just sling it back and forth against Dallas. Just show me that you can do that, because that's what we're, Jake, you're saying baby steps, right? We're trying to be like, what does this mean against like one of the shittiest defenses in Washington? It's like, well, we're looking for anything at this point. So there you go. Now, can you build on that with some consistency, just being in the lineup healthy week to week? Because I was going to look this up. Of course I didn't. Like, what is our record when he starts? It's probably like 3-2 or 3-3. It's like as bad as it might look. We've been in a lot of these games, and he's beaten the Bears, Lions, and Commanders. Like, he's done like if you just do the thing where you just like project that out for the full season, it's like, okay, is it as bad? It looks worse maybe than it is, I guess, is kind of what I'm trying to say. And, you mentioned the defense, like, God, for them to finally have a lead, like you could see how probably amped up they were to not be having to trail and feel like we have to score.
And look what happened.
Tie the game, right? Shutout.
Well, and not only that, but it was the discussion we had last week. When you have a lead, you're able to take chances, and they got some turnovers. So it was exactly what we were preaching. We'll preach on something else Wolves related later and see if we can be right on that for once.
Yeah, well, we'll see.
Look forward to that.
And always respect to our opponent, who just continues to throw these quick screens to Andrew Van Ginkel's side. I don't know if anyone in the NFL watches any tape at all. Seems like not, but I was thinking about that when that happened. I'm like, did they not fucking know about this? And I think it's like they don't know what side he's lining up on. It would be my takeaway.
Doesn't he usually pick it off on the other side? So maybe they just thought that. They're like, well, if we throw to the right, that's where he always is.
Yeah, if we do this to the right, it's going to the house. Let's try the left. It's like,
yeah,
we'll proceed with it anyway.
It's really hard to find him with all that hair flowing out the back too.
Yeah,
how could you not pick him up?
Yeah, so good for the defense. I think all the quarterback struggles have certainly taken the focus all season, and for good reason. But they've been pretty solid still. I mean, we've kind of been like, hey, Jonathan Allen and Hargrave haven't necessarily been like game wreckers like maybe we hoped for. It's not like they've been terrible or anything. Byron Murphy, not his best season, but collectively, I think they've still been pretty damn good. So if you can just get some offense, keep the time of possession for once, they're still pretty formidable. So, and the other thing too, right? We got on the graphic. We're in the hunt, technically back in the hunt. And Jake, I think you looked up there is a path to make playoffs. I feel like there's probably you can tell us how many, what is it, 27 things that need to happen, but
that's not 27, but it's close. We are at a 1% chance. We have to win out, obviously. But next week we need the Browns to beat the Bears and the Rams to beat the Lions. Week 16, we need the Packers to beat the Bears, Steelers to beat the Lions. It's pretty much just a bunch of Lions and Bears losses. Week 17, we need the Commanders to beat the Cowboys, Seahawks to beat the Panthers, and 49ers to beat the Bears. And then final week 18, we need Lions to beat Bears, and we will clinch the 7th seed.
Hey, it's possible.
Right. Hey.
So you're just telling me there's a chance.
I need you to fire out that information at the beginning of like every week. Just fire that out on Twitter. So we're like, all right, what do we need today? What do we need to happen today?
Browns and Rams and Vikes wins. That's what we need Sunday.
Sounds like a parlay the opposite way, Hags.
You came to the right place. I just ended the Chiefs the other night.
If there's anyone that can do it, it's this podcast.
Yep. What did I do this past weekend? I got the Saints a win. I got Indiana their first Big Ten championship since 1967, and I ended the Chiefs dynasty. That was all.
Nice work.
That was it.
That is good.
So
week
at Dallas, at Giants versus Lions, Christmas against Lions on Netflix. Anyone?
Ooh,
I know that was initially.
Yeah.
I'm gonna probably be committing full blown treason in that one for fantasy purposes. I'm gonna be needing Jameer to go full Alvin Kamara on us on Christmas.
Yeah. 6 touchdowns would be just fine with me.
And we could still win the game. That's fine, but of course David will get his too. Just being a
quick 70-69 victory sounds real nice for Christmas.
Yeah, there you go.
Nice Christmas present. Yeah, I don't know if that has the appeal that we thought initially as a Christmas Day game, but I don't know, man. I'm looking to get away and watch it regardless. I don't care if we were winless at that point. I'm watching that game, so still have a chance. Yeah, whatever. I'll be watching. So, I mean, some light at the end of the tunnel, I think. Just seeing JJ, this, we can clown the 1% chance we had, but these are, to me, important games for him. All this matters. Stay healthy. He was out there running around a little reminiscent of Jackson Dart, not necessarily on the sidelines, but I think some of these guys, it's like, hey, that's their game, man.
It is,
especially,
it's part of his game.
And it probably needs to be when you're not as developed as a thrower just yet. A lot of them, it's like, go move the chains, man. Give me another 3 plays and let's see where we're at. And even if it's just getting in range for Will, which is, in the gym range, as we know.
Yeah.
Just get points on the board for your defense, man. And just keep the offense on the field. So baby steps, like you said. Let's not have a complete, pants shitting against Dallas on prime time. It's been known to
we'll see.
pop up once in a while. And stay healthy. That just continues to be the thing. You can't be just in and out every other week kind of a thing. So and Phillip Rivers is now off the market. So I don't know if they're going to be going to Brosmer if he does get hurt. So I don't know where we would,
unbelievable.
Who would be our Phillip Rivers if we had to?
Oh, Matt Ryan.
Somebody.
I don't know.
Pluck somebody right out of the booth. Mark Sanchez. What's he?
I didn't realize the Colts have had such a just roulette wheel when it comes to quarterback, and it's like, man, I didn't realize how long ago it was. He hasn't played in 4 years.
For the Colts too? His last,
I believe
stop?
So. Yeah, and he's 44. So
I know.
He might have a son that's better. Is Anthony Richardson hurt? Is he out for the season or something? Because I'm looking at that this would be your opportunity.
Well, I was going to ask you guys if you knew any details about this. He was put on IR. I don't know if it was for the whole season. There was a injury, a freak injury. I don't know if he got hit with a football in the eye before a game or something. Did you guys remember hearing about that? It was
Remember
this,
hearing
this
something, but
year.
it was decades ago to me now. It's being just months ago. So
Yeah, I mean, we're not up on our second and
not
third
up on our
string
backup
Colts
quarterbacks for
IR.
Indianapolis Colts. Yeah.
The third stringers, apparently.
And it may well be a conspiracy for a soft benching, but
That's probably more correct than we think
true.
it is.
could be very soft. It's got me soft. We don't know what's going on with those Colts, but he was a name that we were, during the real shitstorm at quarterback for the Vikes, where they're like, what about bringing in Richardson? I'm like, I mean, if you want to, go ahead and give him the Daniel Jones internship as like your weird, like third or fourth guy who like never suits up. It's just like around. Like if you want to do that at some point, whatever. But I think we're probably still just in the JJ biz for how long? At least into the good chunk into next season, I would think. And we can talk about that off season, whatever, but let's keep building, man. Keep building. KOC, I think too, is learning to how to work with him better. I don't know what took so long to realize, let's not just like nitpick every mechanical thing. Just go play.
Play the game, yeah.
Why did that take 14 weeks?
You have some very stubborn coaches in Minnesota.
Yeah, I mean, if he ends up starting to get better, like whatever, that's all water under the bridge, and it's too bad you had to kind of punt a season away in a season that seems pretty wide open. I was going to ask you guys, like, if you had a gun to your head, who would you pick to like win the Super Bowl right now?
That's
no idea.
Rams. I'd say Rams. That would be my choice. But that's also who I want to win, so probably not them.
So that's not working. Yeah.
I think
they're out.
Yeah, they're out. I think the bigger question is who's going to come out of the AFC. It's funny because you look at like Lamar Jackson and Josh Allen, and you're like, man, here's your opportunity. The Chiefs are pretty much toast. They're pretty much dead in the water, and those two teams are like, I mean, the Bills, they're winning some games, but they're not anything too special. They can't stop anybody, and the Ravens just, I don't know, they look like ass every week.
Yeah, I think Lamar might be significantly hurt.
Is Houston like the team to come out of the AFC?
The hot team right now.
God, and they're the team you would be like, this is kind of your playoff style, ugly, good defense. Like, they always say like run the ball, play defense. Like when it gets cold in the playoffs, they don't really have the running part, but their defense is so damn good that that's a team where I would not want to be running into them in the playoffs. But that's a good call. They're 16-1 to win the Super Bowl. And for AFC, let's see, fourth, I guess. I mean, Jacksonville, I don't know. Like, we'll see who wins the AFC South. But yeah, the Rams are favored right now, plus 390. And then Seattle, plus 800. So decent size gap between those two for 1 and 2. And
got a matchup next Thursday.
And this is Rams, who just lost to the Panthers. So it's like, I don't trust any of these teams. That's why I was like, that's kind of interesting to see who we would think would be our pick to win it all. And then Swine are third.
I was going to say, who's going to just slip through and just win one of the easiest Super Bowls of all time? It's 100% the Swine.
I know.
That's just it's almost too easy for that.
Yeah.
Let's start betting on them now.
I'm going to.
Shut the shit down.
I will be activated. Yeah. I kind of want the number a little better. 8-1. Maybe I'll parlay that with some. And the other one I'm looking at too. And then just to go back to your point, Bills are the biggest fit. Like they're the first team that pops up on the AFC, plus 850. Patriots plus 1,000. Denver also plus 1,000. So, but Bo Nix, Drake May, like, do you trust them? I mean, that's a lot of pressure to have on those guys being so young. But Chiefs, what up? 60-1. They're not totally dead just yet. But I could put the nail in any time with one click of the mouse here.
I mean, you said the Bills are number 1 in the AFC, and they're right now the 6th seed. It's crazy. You like just look up and down. I understand they do divisions first, but Broncos, Patriots, Jags, Steelers, that's the top 4. I don't trust any of those teams to go to the Super Bowl. Like the AFC is wide open.
That's why, if Chiefs somehow got in, I know like they probably have a very similar situation that you just outlined for Vikes, where they need a lot of help. And I think they still have a couple tough games coming up. But like,
Yeah,
what
they're
if
11% right now?
Yeah. And even if they were showing that on Sunday night, because it was them and the Texans was kind of like, if whoever loses is got a real tough path, but if whoever wins is in very good shape. But like, let's just say, what if I were to tell you the Chiefs made the playoffs? I'd be like, well,
They'd be the
I'm
favorites.
thinking they're making the bowl.
Right. In the AFC, yeah, they'd be the favorites. I bet.
Because he's never not made an AFC championship, Mahomes, in his career, right? Pretty sure he's made it at least that far every year. It's crazy.
Place a nice little Kansas City versus Swine Super Bowl bet right now.
Yeah, I'll look that up and I'll report on that.
Yeah,
at the end of the pod. What else we got here tonight, fellas? We got to go T-Wolves or any other Vikings NFL related content before we move on.
Only other Viking thing I had was we had 7 drives for offense, and it went touchdown, touchdown, punt, field goal, touchdown, touchdown, and then victory formation. So that's not too bad. Scored on 5 of the 7. One of them was just kneeling it. So I take that. That's a pretty good day, even though it was against one of the worst defenses in the NFL. But we need wins here, and we'll take them any way we can.
Oh, yeah.
My last NFL thing is we just covered kind of the AFC standings, but I was looking at the NFC, and Precious Bears, 1 loss, dropped from 1st to 7th. Isn't that something?
Hate to see
that
it.
That is crazy.
All jokes aside, we kind of talked about this the other day. Like, you know, if it's my choice of Bears and Packers, like I'll take the Bears.
Oh, so mad
without thinking at all.
That game. Yeah.
But I've kind of had the Bears like, all right, you guys have just been eking out wins all these different ways at the end of games that you probably didn't deserve. And then they really kind of smashed the Eagles and ran for over 200 yards on them. And now you're like, well, the Eagles, look at them. All right. They aren't looking too good at this point. But that was a pretty respectable effort, I think, against the Swine on the road. That was the first time where I'm like, all right, this team actually, like, I'm going to give them some respect. And I don't think Caleb's really anywhere, anything like the quarterback that maybe he will be at some point. Like he's a case too, where, you know, you can look at it like we look at for JJ, where you're like, there's going to be some ups and downs, even just within a game. And Caleb will make some throws where you're like, holy shit, that was a crazy throw. And like, that's what we're looking for with JJ. Even if it's not a complete, consistent game, show me the flashes here bit by bit. So we know it's like, hey, it's in there. And that gives me a little more patience to wait around for him to develop. So credit to the Bears, I guess, for putting up a fight. I had Green Bay part of a parlay, so I was just committing treason, but the Chiefs ruined it anyway. So I was like, dude, the Bears are going to score here and go for 2. But I thought they kind of botched that at the end. Like they took too much time trying to score against Green Bay, and then it almost kind of like slipped away. And I don't know. It was a good effort in Lambeau. That place was you know, pretty amped up. Kansas City, Green Bay Super Bowl matchup, 125-1.
Wow.
Not going to really even think about that. That one's getting placed. It's just like paying for. It's just like, hey, here's your, you know, whatever you pay for insurance in a month. That we'll just add a little onto it for NFL insurance, just in case.
What about Lions
versus anyone, or are you talking just overall?
No, yeah, and I'm just saying, yeah, making the playoffs. They're the 8 right now. They're on the bubble. 51% chance still.
20-1 to win the bowl. Playoffs. Let's see. TikTok. TikTok.
Yeah, so you know, I don't know. I don't know their schedule, but I'm guessing they probably play the Bears still. That could end up being a pretty big matchup.
These odds provided by FanDuel Sportsbook, because it's easier for me to scroll on the screen. They like them still to make it. So Green Bay is the best at like just an absurd line. I'm not even going to repeat it. It's so despicable. And then Eagles, I think, just because of the NFC East. Dallas is still 6. I think they're 6-6-1. So they kind of almost have to run the table still to even get in. And they're running into 9. in a primetime game. Get real.
Oh, watch out.
Uh, so Green Bay, Philly, San Francisco is then third, and their schedule I think is really, really light from week 1 up until the end of the season. What are they, 8-4? They just had a fucking bye week in the middle of December. So Green Bay, Philly, Niners, Tampa, interesting. Still having faith there to win the division. Bears, and then Lions. So they don't like Carolina. They don't like Dallas. Who would be dropping out? Or they're already counting Rams and Seahawks in. So I think that's they're not even letting you bet on those teams.
Gotcha. Well, and the Lions schedule the rest of the way, like they've got the Rams at Rams this week, which that's going to be a fun
storylines.
Yeah. And then they go Steelers, Vikings, Bears. So 3 out of 4 on the road. The only home game is the Steelers. That Bears game, week 18, might be your Sunday night flex. Like, who's going to make the playoffs?
Playing game. Love it.
Potentially for the division and first place.
Oh, let's hope.
Yeah.
Again for the Lions.
Lose out. I think Swine still have they play the Bears like again in like a week or two. So yeah, I mean, it's going all the way back. Like, that's what's unfortunate about this QB situation for us, is where you're just like, God, this could have been a good opportunity. Like, what if we just had our team last year, this year, like, then I would be feeling a lot better. But I'm not buying into these Seahawks with Darnold, although that might be another insurance bet. Seahawks to win the bowl. That would be quite fitting for a Minnesota. That's like a David Ortiz situation for us at that point. It's like, dude, just at least profit off of it if you can. I'll try my best. Talking some TWolves here. Pretty disgusting L last night against the Suns. Ever since I uploaded that TikTok disrespecting the Suns, we've lost 2 ugly games to them, and they're not even full strength. So that's probably on me a good amount. But going back to, like, what did we have? I don't know how many games in a row we won. Every one of them was ugly. I feel like we've just been disrespecting our opponent and just the game of basketball by not showing up ready to play ever. We're just punting away first halves. And then finally last night, little wrinkle thrown into the rotation. Bones Highland, kind of like one of your first guys off the bench. And I think there was, some of the folks that cover the Wolves, there were some quotes from Finch about, like, he looks at the season in like 4 20-game kind of like quarters to, not to freak out. Like, it's a sample size. 20 games is enough before you can start to make any determinations. And I know we're a little bit past the 20 game mark, but we finally got Rob to the bench, didn't play at all. And then Bones Highland was kind of relied upon a lot. So it's, that's kind of what's floating around X today is like, what are we thinking about Rob, Jake, or the Wolves? You think they're finally out on him after the DMP?
I think it might be, yeah. Because everything we want Rob to be is what Bones is giving us every time he plays. So it's like, why not just use the man that has the skill and can actually play the game that we want instead of Rob? We've tried to let him develop, but it's like, just we're not seeing it out there. It's kind of working in little flashes, but it's kind of like, well, we're just kind of hovering here at the 6 seed too. So it's kind of like we kind of need to win. Maybe we pocket some games and then we bring Rob back. But as of right now, I don't feel like Rob's getting anywhere near that any minutes until we get maybe an injury or something comes along. I think Bones is the way to go.
Yeah, it was nice to see him come in and just, no hesitation in his game. He doesn't wait. He knows what his role is. He knows he can score. He can get a bucket anytime. He is a little careless, so he fits right in on this team. You just
can't hold him for that.
There's a couple passes. He would make a bad pass, and you're like, oh, Christ, here we go. And then the next possession, he would hit a 3. You're like, all right, well, as long as he's going to try to make up for the mistakes, like I'm good with that. But yeah, I don't know with Rob, man. It's an interesting situation. I know, like, the trade rumor mill is going to pick up, and he's probably going to be talked about in any trade that happens, if one does happen. So it's tough, man. It's tough, and he's young. Like, we joke about, we need him to step in and play point guard and maybe start next year, and It's like not everybody is Anthony Edwards. They can't just step in right away and become an all-star in like the second year. So it's tough to see. I know we were all excited to get him in the draft too.
Yeah. What do we know? We did like 20 minutes of like YouTube research and mock drafts. But Kentucky guard, like this is like the first Kentucky guard to not pan out. That's right on brand for us. But yeah, like, dude, if you want to improve, you got to play. And you got drafted into a situation where we can't really wait around for you to get better, you know, at the same time. That's a thought I had, you know, as I was, you know, you look at some of the offensive rating, defensive rating, some of these numbers, and I feel like it doesn't really capture the whole picture of our team because we're pretty much doing R&D in the second quarter every night of like, all right, Terrence is going to get a chance. Rob's going to get a chance. And it's not that's not like what a roster would, that's not what we would be trotting out in a playoff series. We'd have the 8-man rotation. That would be fat that we would immediately trim as soon as playoffs start. But we're trying to tinker with these guys, mainly Shannon and Rob, and even Mike to a certain extent. And he's in there closing games. We'll talk about that maybe in a minute. But like all that kind of stuff where like you could just easily, you know, cut that out and you're better right away. And I think Finch is like, you know what? Our bench has been such an issue that I got to at least, I got to get something. If at least Bones was giving you some good with the bad, and it was probably, I don't know, 2/3 good. And then he would like just have like a dumb turnover. Like he got the steal and I'm just yelling at the TV, like, don't go 1-on-2, bud. And he does, and like hits the bottom of the rim with a layup. And you're like, God, like a great play immediately given back. Mm-hmm. Some of that stuff, but that's, hey, he hasn't played actual basketball in a long time. But like some of it's like, dude, you got to just make shots. I can't remember who tweeted it, but they're like, Rob has like maybe 6 threes all year. And
Bones had 4 last night.
Exactly. Right. Immediately you're just getting more production.
Well, and like to come to Rob's defense a little bit, like you look at his game log, he's averaging 10 minutes a game for the year, which at the beginning of the year, like the first 5-6 games, Ant wasn't playing, so he was getting more minutes. But lately it's like 5, 7, 7, 8, 8. How can you establish any kind of a rhythm or any kind of a consistency when that's all you're getting? Yeah. So, and to be fair, you know, you have, it's very short, and you have a team that you have gone to the Western Conference Finals twice with. It's like, how much can we tinker with letting that guy develop? And clearly they just, I don't know, they just don't see it right now. But 8 minutes a game, 7 minutes a game, that's not enough. That's not enough to develop for sure.
Either play me or not. And then you worry about making any mistakes, and you don't really play like comfortable out there. And even Shannon too, like he plays that great game against OKC, and it's like he's kind of just like relegated to the bench again, and he gets these like little 3-minute windows. If you're not perfect, you're done. And it's like we kind of needed those guys for production. And it's now to the point, I think a lot of folks on X, of course, we're all geniuses on X, you know, but it seems like a roster shakeup is pretty evident and necessary. And I think people are coming to that realization more unanimously than it was before. I mean, people have been screaming like regardless of what day it is, if it's, you know, December 9th today or, you know, August 9th, they're yelling about the point guard. Why didn't we get a point guard? Like, what's going on? We knew this was an issue. And I feel like it's just gotta take place. Like something's going to come down. I know, what is the Randall can't be traded until the 15th of December. Nas, I believe, is January 15th. You can go back and forth as to who's going to be the centerpiece of that, like a trade package. It's probably one of those two. Yeah. But Jake, do you think they're making a move, or is Tim up in the front office finally maybe going to realize that we got to make some changes here?
I don't know. It's tough, man, because the more I look at this team, at least right now, the less I think a point guard is fixing this team and getting us to a championship. And that's the goal. So I don't know if I want to like shake up this young roster and just trade away some of our future to try and go for a win now kind of a scenario, because the Thunder is just way too good. Even Denver, I feel like we're going to struggle against this year because they're a lot better too this year. There's a totally different team. And I don't know. This team right now just ain't it. And I think it's more than one point guard fix away. So I'd maybe try and get like a quick, easy, cheap point guard. I'm not trading Nas. I'm not trading like Julius or anything like this. Like, give us like some of the young guys and like a pick and try and get somebody that could just slot in here quick. That's just like some veteran. I'm not talking Chris Paul, but like we need something different,
thank you.
especially for the bench. So I don't think we need a starter either. Dante's been doing just fine. He's had a terrible past couple games, but we need just a guy that can come out there and run the offense when we, for some reason, are sitting Jules or Ant at the same time and just kind of control it a little bit. I don't think we need to make the big flashy trade. Do I want Giannis? Of course, but it's not going to happen.
Yeah, and I think take a number, like our package for Giannis. Show us your package. Ours is the smallest. So like it's nice to get excited, unless he was to just like demand to come here. Like that would be our only saving grace to get him. But and bringing in a bit like moving mountains to make a big trade or something mid-season, I feel like it just doesn't really happen anymore. Like we always get excited for the trade deadline, and it's usually just kind of little moves here and there, and then the off seasons when big shit goes down. And the other thing that, point guard's the easy one to pick out, but like, how do we not have a fucking backup center? And we saw it last night with Rudy going out. We don't have a backup center that you can play. And I saw they sent Baron J down to Iowa today, which I was kind of going back and forth with people. I'm like, why is he just sitting over there for a guy who has like almost zero basketball experience? Like he needs to be playing too. So
there's only so many minutes in the games, guys.
Yeah, so send him down.
No, yeah, he needs to be playing in Iowa.
Yeah,
like, why is he just sitting? Yeah, exactly.
So finding a backup center should not be hard at all. And maybe they're just thinking buyout market at some point. We'll just be the 5-6 seed, regardless of how serious we take any of these games, which apparently is not much at all. And you can find a backup center. We're just needing to play 12 minutes and defend the rim and rebound and set some screens. Like these guys are out there. I mean, I don't have one.
It will be interesting with the buyout market as well. I think just because like some of these guys, like some of these teams,
Nurkic.
If I'm the Clippers, I'm trading everybody.
Yeah.
Like that is a disaster, and you need to rebuild your stock. Like you need to have draft picks and everything else. And that's a team I'd be like, man, everybody should be available on that team. And they have some bigs that don't make a ton of money. I mean, are they great? No, but like what else is on the buyout market? But there's a couple teams like that are pretty bad.
Yeah. So like Nurkic, like Robert Williams, like is he gonna even survive through multiple rounds of the playoffs? Like, but we need anyone, you're right. So like even just one of those guys that play 10 minutes, like can just really help a lot. So I think they're just like, hey, if we're all healthy, Rudy, Nas, Julius as a 3-man front court can work. And then depending on matchup, Jaden can maybe play some 4, whatever. But, you see what happens. Like it's been kind of on again, off again with this Julius Nas front court. Like the defensive numbers initially were awful. They found a way to get like, hey, if you put Jaden and Jalen Clark out there, well, we can kind of mitigate that to a certain degree. And then they went away from that. I don't know why Jalen Clark wasn't playing last night in the fourth quarter. I thought that was just malpractice by Finch, having Conley in there too. Like he's bungled a bunch of games too. And we just I get pissed all the time. And I'm like, well, we're off to like our 3rd best start ever. So it's just like, whatever, this shit's just going to happen, I guess. But like the quality of play has not been very good, I don't think. And just the disrespect of like that, those 2 games against New Orleans was just like, what is going on? You guys just clearly are just in cruise control until who knows when. Maybe they'll get up for a game or 2 here and there against good teams, but like I just don't see any sense of urgency or any professionalism at all.
Jalen Clark, 14 minutes per game this season. That in and of itself, I know you just mentioned malpractice in the fourth quarter last night. That's insane. And I remember one of the late defensive plays last night within the last minute. Clark came in the game, and I know Jim Pete. It was him. I think it was him that said it. I was like, oh, Finch isn't going to make that mistake again. He's got Clark in here. Last time against the Suns, he wasn't in on that last play and whatever. And I'm like, well, the mistake's already been made. He didn't play in the fourth quarter until that point.
Right. That's another mistake.
That's not okay. Yeah, that's 12 minutes in the game that's terrible. Like that guy needs to play a lot more. And I think that brings to the point that we saw an X that somebody made today that we've been preaching for weeks. He should be starting, and Dante should come off the bench. It's just a better matchup at the beginning, better energy at the beginning. You never know what I yelled at the TV twice last night, and it was Dante firing a ball 60 feet down court for no reason that's easily going to get picked off. And I'm just like, what the hell are you doing?
They're playing with pace. That's a good thing.
Yeah, right. He's not Kevin Love, dude. You're not making that pass.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
And whoever's on the other end probably isn't catching it, even if it gets there. Yeah, the Finch stuff. I was texting you guys this yesterday. Like, I'm officially I'm out. I'm all the way out. I'm not going to flip flop back and forth. I know they're not going to fire him this year, and maybe it'll take a long time. But every time I watch this team, there's just nothing but symptoms right in front of your nose of this being a poorly coached team. You know, like, never are they ready to play a game. Like, sure, the players can be held responsible for that too, but there's that falls to Finch too. He's always, how many times after the game he's like, yeah, I should have done this, should have done that. Can't draw up any plays, inbounds plays that are like less than 5 seconds. You got to bring in Joe Ingles just to inbound the fucking ball. Your plays are so bad. Rotations are all over the fucking place. I mean, there's probably 2 or 3 other things I'm just forgetting off the top of my head, but like, I don't know, man. Like, I'm just done.
Yeah, I think I kind of am too. Especially because when we're, at least for me, going into the season after back-to-back Western Conference Finals, championship is the bar where I'm at right now. And right now we have the luxury of, we can critique wins and say that they're bad wins and hate on them because they are, and they're just trash, and that's not championship basketball. A lot of people are like, oh, third best start in franchise history. I'm like, that's not even close to what I'm seeing out there. So Get that stat away from me. Even though it is correct, yes, but it's a trash stat. It's just not the eyeball test. Watch the game and then actually know ball and then talk to me. But I do like Phil's idea of switching Clark and Dante, even though that Dante starting lineup is the third best lineup in the NBA right now. But it's working, but we need bench help, man. Nas cannot be just the only dude off the bench scoring points. It's not working. And I know we've been trying to get the younger guys in there, but maybe Dante and Nas coming in later works a little better with Clark because we don't need another scorer out there, especially when we got Jaden Wood taking his leap this year. So it's just, I don't know. Something needs to change. It's just, there's just so many different things that could help this team go in a different direction.
Yeah. Yeah, I totally agree. And what was the other stat they had too? Where they're like, "Hey, 4 straight wins, double-digit comebacks," because you're just punting away the game,
you
not
suck.
giving a
yeah, it's not because you're good.
That's not a compliment of a stat. That's bad.
And that's back to your Finch point of not being ready for the game. And the flip side that people are going to bring up is like, well, the guys like him and Ant likes him. Well, tough shit. Maybe you don't need to like your coach. Like, I understand.
Do you want to like him, or do you want to advance to the finals?
Right.
Do you want to win a championship? Yeah.
Trying to run a business.
You have you have that relationship that Ant has with Finch, and like that's great. And you don't want to piss off your star player. Well, your star player is growing every single year, and I think he realized he wants to win. And
of course.
But I mean, like, you want to have a best friend as a coach,
right? And you know what? Like, he's not immune to the criticism either. Like he's not coming ready a lot of these games. He did play really well last night, and he was 12 or 14 or something in the first quarter. So, he was ready to go last night. But I don't know, man. It's tough. It's tough. It's interesting for us to be talking about this because we're not talking about Alexei Shved and Luke Ridnour and like those days.
We're all high and mighty.
We have the luxury to
nice spot to be in. Yeah,
we expect to win. It's a weird spot for us, but it's time.
Well, wins or losses aside, you can tell when good ball is being played, and that has just not been the case for like quite a couple weeks at least. Yeah, a month maybe even. Like here and there, you'll see it, but the last thing I'll say on the Finch front is just like every player that we've seen on this team for like the last, I don't know, however many years, they all have like their signature bullshit that he has not been able to correct by 1% over the years at all. Like Ant still won't box out. Nas can't make a fucking outlet pass to save his life. He's never paying attention. Got his ass ripped by Grayson Allen again last night, not paying attention. Mm-hmm. And you can just go on on down the line with all these guys, like Rudy just like losing his shit and having too hard of a foul, even though it probably shouldn't have been a flagrant 2, but like all these little
turning his back and getting picked.
all these little habits, exactly. Just none of them get corrected at all. And that's bad coaching, in my opinion. So you can be happy with his quality and be fine with your Western Conference Finals. I'm not afraid of making a move to try to get better if we have to take a step back for starting out, like in the short term. So, and maybe that's what happens with the roster as well.
Yeah, I think we have a great roster. I feel like it can play, but we just don't play to our potential ever. And that's the problem,
right.
I feel
and
like.
That's coaching.
So we get these guys, and if we get all 8 of our guys going, we have a great, decent starting lineup and the 3 off the bench for the playoffs with Clark being number 8. So it's like, it's all there. The pieces are there. Just go do it, Finch. And it's just the same thing for the last 2.5 seasons. We've just seen this rotating wheel of just shit. And it's just annoying and just makes my blood boil every single game.
I hate watching some of these games. I'm just like so mad. Like, no, it's so bad. It's so fixable, a lot of this shit.
It's all the easy stuff. It's just loser ball every game.
The same. That's what it drives me crazy, is it's the same mistakes over and over and over, and nothing ever changes. And you were talking about Finch, like, hey, he gets along with Ant. I don't know that you want your buddy coach-player relationship. And I think it works for a time. And then at some points, like, you need to be pushed. You need to be out of your comfort zone to level up to, maybe winning a title, that type of a player. And I think we're getting to that point. I think Finch we're getting there where it's like, you've taken us as far as you can take us, and it's time to get a new voice in here. And it'll be tough, and there'll be people that'll be pissed, and that's fine. But as is right now, it's like this. It's hard to get too pumped about the team as well, because I feel like we're just like racing to a red light here.
Yeah, we're 15-9 right now, and I feel like without a coach on the team, put a Nori up there, that's fine. I feel like we have the same record, if not better.
Right. It would at worst be a lateral move for sure. Yeah. So I feel like Tom Crean is like, don't be surprised if that starts getting some buzz. And that might not be for like a year. That's true. Yeah. But that's probably why they're also looking at him, because I think Crean would be more of a hard ass. And when I see him on the telecast too, he's just, I feel like he sees a lot of shit that he isn't thrilled about either. And he's putting on a good face, right? He's new here. He's trying to just contribute where he can, but it's like he knows this is it too. Like, there's just a lot of glaring issues with this team. All right, I could talk about that all night, but it's like we're just spinning our wheels here. Quick Twins stuff here. It came out last week. There's been some reports. Some of the folks covering, some of the natty reporters covering the Twins, they came out with a thing where they're like, "Good news, guys. The Twins aren't going to be trading their stars." And then I had to reply. I'm like, "Well, cool. Let's get some stars. That should be good." Yeah. And of course, crickets. Nobody loves the heat that I'm bringing on X. But thoughts on that? "Quote unquote" news.
It's hysterical. It's the entire organization. Yeah, the entire organization is just pure satire at this point.
Like, why believe anything they say? By the way,
I don't think about back to.
They think they have stars.
Well, think back to when they said we're keeping the team and we're going to tell you about all these investors. I haven't heard a single peep about any of your quote unquote investors.
Yeah.
So they're just full of shit. Yeah, they're so full of shit. It's not worth it.
And then I saw Rocco got hired by the Dodgers to be in their front office. So probably like, hey, front office is far away from managing the bullpen as possible. He can maybe do some good for us there. And then the other couple other things that were bouncing around X today. I know there was the MLB draft lottery. I think we talked about that earlier. Of course, Minnesota team, we fell. We were, I think, second best odds to get the number 1 pick. And we ended up, I think we're in the 3 spot. And those White Sox hit the lotto, got number 1. Boy, they need it. I'll be placing my White Sox to win the Central bet, the annual
annual $5,
annual burning of $5, ceremonial White Sox burn. So good, I guess. Like, hopefully this player doesn't become too good and requires money. That would be
Hopefully he's just decent.
yeah. I'd hate to have to pay the kid. We'll cross that bridge when we get there. But then the other thing was like they're talking about like, hey, the payroll, we're actually going to have it at 110 million this year, thinking that's like some sort of like increase. And Aaron Gleeman, if you don't follow him, he's like number one guy I follow for Twins.
Yeah, he's a Twins guy.
He's like, that would be their lowest since the Metrodome. So it's like, dude, I don't know what they're trying to spin to us. They think we're just fucking dipshits. And I can't wait to see how empty that place is going to be this year.
Yeah. What who do they think like these like Minnesota fans are pretty diehard fans, and for most of them to just be like, you know what, forget this team, like that's tough. And then they're to play that card, like we're going to spend this much money. It's like, yeah, who are you talking to? Nobody believes any of this.
Yeah. Just own goal after own goal, going all the way back to when they tried to sell the team. And it started with just like, hey, we finally won a playoff game. Let's kick our feet up for the next decade and just cut payroll. And in doing so, they just undercut the price of the team because there's just like a full on fucking like mutiny, and they're not making any money, and they're in debt somehow. And like the MLB was going to cover it. That was a report, and they still couldn't sell. Like, what the fuck is going on? But even with all that said, like if they call up like Walker Jenkins and like a couple of these other young players that are supposed to be like, you know, our future, I'll probably be watching. I'm not going. You're not getting my money, but I'll be watching out of the corner of my eye as we get swept by the Thunder simultaneously, probably April or May. So that's nice. That's fun. Yeah. Cool stuff. All right. We're getting about to the hour point, and actually 2 minutes over. Fellas, any shout outs before we hit the road here?
I want to shout out Harrison Smith. Got an interception this week. Just more solidifying him as one of the greatest of all time at free safety. I think he needs I couldn't remember what it was. 11 more tackles, I think, to move into second place all time for free safeties. So just put some respect on my boy's name. Nobody ever does in the national media. He's one of the greats ever. Just look at the stats. He beats Troy Polamalu every single time. So let's get my boy in the hall. He'll be first ballot. At least he better, or I will be there. Look out, Goodell.
And Silver, you too, while we're at it.
You're Silver. Go for you too, man.
And just a loyalist. He's just loyal to the squad, and you got to love that. So yeah, big shout out. Good shout out.
No offense, buddy, but I hope this is your last year. But good.
I was just going to ask. You think
it's been a long career?
You think he would try another one? Like, what if we see 4 good games down the stretch out of JJ? Is he like?
Maybe he could take that last roster spot if he wants it, but I don't think he's coming back. He's been trying to leave for years now. We just keep rolling his course back out there. So,
coach, maybe he'll end up as one of the defensive coaches or something.
Coach teacher.
Yeah, come on through. Hey, Brian all week. That's fine.
Yeah, learn a thing or two. Phil, shout outs, or you just want to talk traffic and weather, or any?
Yeah, traffic and weather. No, I was trying to think of a funny shout out from that Wolves Suns game last night, but maybe just shout out to the officials on that one call with Dylan Brooks just grab ass and Julius Randle. That really pissed me off at the time of the game. That was just
hate him.
Dylan Brooks, for somebody who just is a repeat offender all the time. If you're like, how are you not watching this guy? He's just a cheap. I don't know. He's just a cheap asshole, and for him to get away with shit like that is just the state of the league we're in. So that kind of had to be said.
Him and Draymond, like the more
Draymond
like fucked up shit you do, like the longer leash you get. And then Rudy's over here getting hit in the face, and then he like kind of lashes out, and he's thrown out of the game. People are talking like suspension maybe for that. I'm like, I guess because it's midair, but it's not like he hit him that hard. But again, that's one of the Rudy things that he does. He just does stupid fouls like that. And you know, Jim Peterson was going on about like the flagrant policy. Like if you add up so many flagrant points, it carries over into playoffs. You just know that's gonna fucking come up at some point and really hurt us. So that's why I'm already thinking like, well, you guys better get out in front of this backup center nonsense, because Rudy's getting another one. And it might not be a real like dirty one. It could just be like inadvertent, and the sirs just go to the monitor and upgrade it to some bullshit.
Yeah.
Or
And they never
he
know
gets
what
in a
they're looking
wrestling
at
match,
over there.
or he gets choked out by Draymond again and gets a flagrant because of it, just because he's involved with it. So get out in front of that. That's what I say.
Yeah.
I got 2 shout outs. One quick one. Shout out to Hideki, another playoff win. Put Alex Noren in a body
Hey.
bag. Just threw a
Canary.
dart on 18 in his canary drip. Nothing new. I mean, but I just had to shout that one
Oh,
out.
yeah.
Hopefully a big season for him. That's our guy.
Love
yeah.
that.
And then I'm gonna need a minute or two, hopefully less, but I don't know if this backhanded shout out. Golden Gopher football, 7-5. We're going to the Guaranteed Rate Bowl, and we are 3.5-point favorites. December 26th, 3:30 p.m. game. That's big time. That's
Big time.
That's
Will
semifinal
PJ still be
NBA
undefeated?
Going
How
for
many
7-0, right? I think in bowl
Yeah,
games.
he's 7-0 in bowl games.
Hey, that's
Yeah.
a good that might be a good little bit of research to do for next week. Is how many bowl games are there? Because this is absurd.
Less and less
All I care
every
about is
year.
the Pop-Tart Bowl. That's all I want to see.
Yeah, just
That's where all day I play my day around that one. That's a good one.
the goofiest shit you'll see all year.
I don't
And
know
it
who's
starts-
playing
and
it.
it's like
but
January
not there
1st.
for it.
And it sets the
Yeah.
bar, right? First day of the year.
New Year's Day one. It's got to be.
But what I was gonna just quick say is like, the bar and the standard is so low. And then I look at Indiana. They showed in that game against Ohio State, second most losses in FBS history, Indiana. And look at them now. They've gone out and found a way to build a program. And we're over here trying to start a fire with sticks and rocks and pubes and whatever else. And it's just a fucking joke every year. And we're like 7-5 bowl game. Let's go. It's like, dude, I would be looking in another direction. I don't people kind of eat up all his row the boat shit. And it's like, dude, not here. I think I at one point compared them to like Jake Paul fights. You're just not going to get me in on the hook for another one of these. They're all just meaningless. So I'm out on that. I'll probably still watch the Guaranteed Rate Bowl because it's on a Friday at 3, and I'll be off work. So whatever. But if Indiana can do it, like what is with Gopher Sport? Like I know the basketball team just hired a new guy. They got a nice win against Indiana. Perhaps I'll have to start keeping tabs on them. But we're big sports fans, and it's like the Gopher football and basketball teams just like never even come across our radar. Because why would we even care? Never really given us any reason to. Once in a while, they might get a 10 seed. Cool.
Just painfully average, just drowning in mediocrity. I got enough of that for the other sports I watch. Thanks.
Right. I guess, yeah, it's like there's enough on our plate already. I don't know, enough losing to deal with that I
How many
can't.
bullets do we need to put in our head?
Yeah, one should be plenty. And we're taking 2
Not
or
one
3.
was enough.
Oh, well. All right. Yeah, we like to end it on a positive
note.
So.
Yeah.
All right. Snow in the forecast probably every day until, I don't know, probably once the Masters is done. We're not going to be able to golf in March. Everything's ruined. And I don't know. All our teams suck. Back to square one. With that, everyone have a nice week. We're going to go watch some NBA Cup. Probably not, but that's what it is. All right, gang. Good pod. We will catch you guys next week. Skol Vikes, go 9. How about another primetime dub? Wouldn't that be something? Take care.